All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of GAR Capital. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join me this morning and every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just send this info to my team. My apologies. All right. It is September 15th, 2022 on a Thursday. Thanks for stopping by this morning. Let's go ahead and get to it. Dow futures up 21, Nasdaq futures down 43, S&P futures relatively flat, down about 7, Russell down about 8.45%, performing worse among the majors. Crude oil is down 1.65%, gasoline futures down about 3%. Nat gas is slightly green. Gold futures, let me see if we are rocking. We are green. We're good. Gold futures down 0.85%, now below 1700. Silver futures down 0.61%. Euro dollar back above parity, 1,006, up 23 pips, 143.35 for the dollar yen. Bitcoin still holding 20,065. Ethereum just did their merge. I have to read exactly how that works. I don't know all the technical aspects of crypto, to be honest. 15 to 84, that's up 0.44%. The dollar index is down 0.13%. We'll go over that chart. 10-year yields pulled back slightly, 34.26 post retail sales. Let's go ahead and get to work. Jason, good morning. Thanks for dropping in this morning. Consolidation day, pretty much yesterday and this morning. After this big post CPI drop, we've just been consolidating, which is pretty usual after big moves. So really now you're really looking at, are we going to break 39.77, 4,000, or are we going to break below this trend line of around 39.25? If you guys remember that megaphone formation that we were kind of holding on to for a minute, pretty similar in terms of that support of around 39.23, but pretty muted price action so far. Let's go over some of the numbers this morning. We'll go over here. Let's see, retail sales. Okay, big news was Adobe was down 8.8%. That's going to hurt cloud computing. That's going to hurt tech. New York Fed manufacturing actual down negative 1.5%. Forecast was negative 12.9%. That's good. Philly Fed index was worse than expected, down 9.9. Forecast is 2.25. Remember, when it comes to the Fed, guys, it's regions. That's how they get their data. So each region, will get their own data and bring it to the Fed. So again, Philly Fed business, New York manufacturing, all that, Chicago Fed, all that stuff. U.S. retail sales advanced month over month was better than expected, 0.3% to the upside. Estimated was red. Retail sales, excluding auto, was down negative 0.3%. So autos helping retail sales. Retail sales, excluding auto and gas, was up 0.3%, estimated 0.5%. And U.S. retail sales control group pretty much flat versus 0.5%. So again, good retail sales at least. Labor market is still very strong, guys. Again, the Fed has a lot of ammo here because labor markets, the labor market being so strong is pushing up wages. And again, if you push up wages high enough, they have to pass that cost to the consumer, or they're just going to eat it, depending on the company. But again, if they're passing on those higher wages or those costs, again, that's inflationary. So again, the labor market is really what's driving up. We see deflation in commodities. We've seen deflation in products, in shipping, all that. But again, the job market, there's still demand for products. The Fed still has more to go. The question is, what breaks? Will it be employment or will it be inflation? 213,000 versus the estimate of 227,000. Import prices less than a negative 1% versus estimate of negative 1.3% this morning. Fed funds rate 2.33% is the same. That hasn't really changed. So again, consolidation period. That's really all we're getting. So here's a look at some of the macro this morning and see, can we get some hints on where we're going forward? Did catch 2 trades yesterday. I caught Tesla and I caught Snowflake. It felt really great to get 2 in one day. My God, it felt like forever that I haven't had a quitting trade in it's only been about 10 days, 7 days where it's been a really tough price dropping market, but we caught it. So I'm glad for that. 28.25 is still our level to break out on VIX. The breakdown level, again, is this trend line here. There is a gap to fill at 21.27. We'll go ahead and leave that in there together if you are playing at home. The dollar index looking like it's going to break below 109.50. That's a great sign. Next support level on the daily would be right around 107.60. That could probably get us about 200, 250 Dow points if that's the case, on a basis of just a guesstimate of how the dollar will affect equities. So 107.60 is your 50-day. It seems to be a really good support, as has been holding the past couple of months. Will we get there is the question. Remains to be seen. But again, the dollar continues to get stronger. We have FOMC next week. Now the expectation is 75 basis points, which we have expected, but we could get 100. I don't think we get 100. Let's go to 10-year yields. 10-year yields rejecting a very key resistance of 34.83. That might be enough to boost equities. If there's a level that I'm looking for, it's this gap fill of around 31.43. That'll get us right to the neckline of that head and shoulders, which we shorted, or where we were long equities during this rise because interest rates were down. Let's see what else. Let's go and take a look at crude oil, and then we'll answer some questions. Again, crude oil, 90.85. That's where we are. Still holding Chevron. Nothing has really changed. Let's see if we break 85. That will give us lower gas prices. If we break above 90, that shows the dollar is weaker and better for equities. Yeah, I know. It's bizarre world. What do you mean high gas prices are good for the market? Commodities are taking a hit. This is all deflation. This is all a bubble pop in a sense. And we need to see if we continue to the downside or we get a little bit of consolidation. Maybe we stay around 85 and hold on for a little bit, and we go from there as we get into the winter months relatively soon. Good morning, Carlos. At what S&P level will you start buying stocks heavy? Now, again, when it comes to S&P, again, those are just kind of illustration levels that I like. But I've been looking at the market, and again, none of my levels have broken to wanting to buy. But again, 3,900 key level. But if you start getting to around 36, 39, I mean, that's where it gets really interesting. Nvidia would probably hit my level. Google will probably hit my level. Apple, I mean, I have plenty of, but the other names I would start taking a look at. But in terms of wanting to buy the bottom, we got to see if the Fed is going to pivot somehow. We still have a lot of data to go, guys. We may have that little crescendo into the end of September, and then October, based on seasonality, we can get a little bit of a boost. So my eye is looking unofficially at 3,900 to start adding some risk. But again, I really want to buy Nvidia, but Nvidia needs to get to my level. Nvidia needs to get to 120.66, which is the level I want, and I'm looking for 72.5 on AMD, and those I really want to add. But again, in terms of S&P level, I mean, to be fair, Brano, sorry, I've been buying S&P 500 growth every single week. So dollar cost averaging has been going on. Crypto been buying every week, not crazy amounts, small amounts, but again, over time. But in terms of kind of sniping a good target that we want, again, 3,900 seems to be that level. But again, in terms of individual stocks, they're just not there yet. And it's kind of frustrating, but that's where we are. Bulls want bad retail sales numbers. Bulls want good retail sales numbers too. It's a tough one because we want bad news is good news. What we want is news that's going to make the Fed stop. And it's not retail sales. It's going to be employment. We need people to be laid off. I can't believe I said that. I know it's terrible to say, but we need people to be laid off and we need the job hoppers to stop. We need labor costs to go down. So how does that happen? When you have higher unemployment. I can't believe I'm saying that, but that's really what the Bulls need. I'm not rooting for that, but that's just the reality. It's kind of like one of those things. If you guys seen The Big Short, where the guys are dancing because they made all that short on the AA tranches in Vegas with Brad Pitt, and they're dancing and they're happy, and then Brad Pitt tells them people lose jobs, people lose homes, people lose savings. You're betting against the American market. That's kind of how it feels sometimes doing this. Like you're hoping for the worst. But just have a little bit of perspective that, you are pretty much day trading in a sense. So you're pretty much looking at it in a short-term basis. No one wants the world to end, obviously. Even the most ardent bears at least have some kind of heart where they're like, I don't want the world to end so I can make some money. Amazon bear flag on the hourly. Let's take a look at it. That's from Carson. Bear flag on the hourly. Could see 123. End of week as market this week. Agree or disagree? There is a gap to fill here at 123, so I do agree with you. But we also have a gap to fill to the upside. Not a ton of edge on Amazon, at least on the daily. But let's bring up the hourly. And you could see here, really, really close to the S&P. Very, very similar. Again, if we want to just go by trend lines, which we could draw on the hourly, let's look at it. What would be our support? So you could see we'll do that. We'll extend it to the right. And that's already been broken, so we could just remove that. And really, if you're looking here, I think the bear flag you're looking at is this here. As we get consolidation in between this, it's either up or down, right? But again, if you have a a downward wedge, you usually get a breakout. Right now, I don't see anything technically that I want to do here, at least with Amazon personally. But again, end of week 123, there is a gap to fill on the daily. That's what it shows me. But you also have another gap on the upside at 134. So we can get to 134 and come back down to 122 or 123. That's completely plausible. Would I want to put money on that this week? No, I wouldn't. But if you do, I'm rooting for you, man. So if you're short Amazon, I'm with you on that one. I want to watch it and root for you. I just don't want to put capital onto it. QQQ calls the 207s. I got burned on QQQ this week trying to play the turnarounds, which we got yesterday, excuse me. There is a gap to fill at 307.96. I think we get there. So again, I'm expecting at least a short-term bounce, but 300 is a very key level. I think you mean the 307s, not the 207s. I think the 300s would probably be a better bet because it's closer, and then you'll know pretty much immediately if it's wrong. So I think the 300 calls are your better bet. I'd buy some time, maybe next week, next Wednesday, ahead of the Fed. Could be that, and you get out right before that. How is the dollar considered strong if having a hard time buying a gallon of gas? Well, our gas prices in dollars are a lot cheaper than anyone else's. So again, I think you're seeing the dollar as it's still weak. It's still weak. Well, this is the dollar index in comparison to other currencies worldwide. We are just the best house in a bad neighborhood. That's really the best way to see it. So again, we need the yen to get better. They're going to have some BOJ intervention. We need the euro to get stronger. We need the pipeline. We need energy crisis to go away. We need the British pound to get stronger. That's issues with Russia. I mean, these currencies need to get stronger in order for the dollar to come down. Regardless of what happens, the dollar is pricing in for oil. So when you talk about gas, Fabian, take a look at this. Sorry, but FB. This is gasoline futures according to dollars. This is based in dollars. We have basically almost cut it in half, almost, but not there. $4.32 now, $2.43. So again, that has completely changed the inflation talk because this is very deflationary. And guys, remember, deflationary environment is way worse than inflationary environment because there is no demand. Read up on the Great Depression and read up on the crashes. Deflation is what hurt and continued the Great Depression. What got us out of it? Good old World War II. Let's see. Thanks, boss. Good luck in fantasy this week. Coming for you. Oh, William, are you against me this week? Man, I had Kareem Hunt on the bench. I still won by the skin of my teeth. I don't have the best team in the world. I had a trade offer for Austin Eckler, and they were going to give me Ezekiel Elliott and someone else, and I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm keeping Eckler. Sorry, man. But I'll see you on fantasy this week, William. Tesla runner thoughts. Let's see it. I do have a Tesla runner. Tesla runner, we're now at 303.45. It is up this morning. I think the target is 310. Hold it for today and see if you get to 310. We got as high as 200%. Right now, my runner is holding at 77%. That should be a little higher. If I get to 300%, I'm just probably going to take it. I mean, there's no point. It's just one contract. But nice trade, Jason, on Tesla. God, that felt so good to get. It felt really good to get something. It's just been a tough tape. But you know what? We come back, we get stronger. And you just keep fighting, guys. I know how it feels to get things wrong all the time. Just keep pushing, stay positive. You guys are going to be great. Get back to your charts, get back to your reading, get back to the reports, whatever you need to get back on the saddle. Even kind of cutting your position size. Whatever it is going to take to get you that confidence back, because this is a confidence game. This is all about how good are you? How much can you do this for the long term? And it takes a lot of brain power, it takes a lot of willpower and emotional consistency over time. So the good news is that I'm here rooting for you no matter what. I hope you guys kill it. Have a great rest of your morning. I will catch you guys tomorrow for the morning note. And have a great Thursday night football. Great matchup this morning, this evening. San Diego Chargers, Los Angeles Chargers, and the Chiefs. I saw the line of Chargers +4. I like Chargers +4. I like Chargers before, but I was wrong. I was wrong on Denver. I didn't bet on them. I thought Denver would win. But yeah, and the Rams Bills games, I had the Rams underdog, didn't win. So I'm gonna go Chargers. If you're a better at home, probably more likely Kansas City's gonna win. But if you're a fantasy team, make sure to get those lineups in today. DraftKings, I'm in DraftKings too. That's not a sponsor. I just love the stock. The company, the stock sucks, but I love DraftKings. Have a great rest of your day, guys. We'll see you later. And Champions League was pretty fun too. Europa today. Manchester United. Glory, glory, Manchester United. Cheers, guys.